Good morning to Anna. This is Lekha Padmanabhan from MBA Department, SRMIST Institute of Technology, Ramapuram. Today we are going to study about industrial psychology. So initially we will know about what do you mean by psychology. So psychology, as the name implies, it is a study where you can know about the human as well as the human behavior as well as the animal behavior of a individual. So it's like recognizing an object or understanding an object or thing. So why people behave in such a way, or why a living being behave in a such a way. So that aspect of understanding is said to be the psychology. So next one, we'll see about what you mean by the word or how the word psychology has derived from. So the psychology word actually is derived from a Latin word, which is called as psychologia. Psychologia, it is again divided into like psycho, you can divide that as psycho and logos, where psycho, which means mind, and logos, which means is steady. And next one, what do you mean by industry? Industry, as the name implies, it is a division of various processing which happens in an industrial sector. It can be of same industry, it can be of a different industry. So it can be a combination of different company, or it is a combination of same companies, or different sectors of an industry. Say for example, hotel industries, or IT industries. So it's a kind of different sectors of industries also. So how does it function? Actually, how does it process? Collection of raw materials, and where you process that into manufacturing goods, and then the output which you receive as in terms of trading for purpose as goods for the consumers. So this complete process is said to be your industry. And next one is said to be your organization. Organization is where you have a unit of people working together in a socialized environment. And how do they manage their things to achieve their goals? So to manage the things, it's things which are like the needs and the purpose of how to achieve their goals in common. Now, next one is what do you mean by industrial and organizational psychology? Now, what do you mean by industrial and organizational psychology? And that first we will see about industrial psychology. As the name implies, this is a combination of two words actually, industrial psychology. So first we'll see about what is your industrial means. As I told you, this is a environment where a civilized person or a civilized people work in a commonly to achieve a material, to achieve their or to satisfy their need of achieving their materialistic goal, which is in demand. And next one, psychology, as the name implies, which concentrates on the human behavior in terms of mindful aspects of in environment, or people who works in an environment. So this is about your psychology. And next one, the history of industrial psychology, which means how does the term industrial psychology emerged? So as you know, as the industrial psychology, it is almost from the your old term, which is psychology. So the psychology, it came in about, or it started in about 1879 in a lab which was started by Wilhelm Wundt in Germany and William James at Harvard. So both these people are said to be philosophers and physicians. They used to debate about the concept of mind and body. So how does the psychology works for people who work with, where we have multiple people working in a work environment. So this is analyzed, or, this kind of philosophy is, rather than moving like a debate, they started to experiment with things using more rooms of availabilities and tools and techniques, and implementation of theories with, lab and techniques and various tests that is related to the theory. Initially, it was started to appear in 1903. The psychology test was begun, and later on, using industrial and organizational psychology test, it was appeared in 1910. And then it began as a process of a different branch of psychology. The industrial organizational psychology started as a different branch of psychology in 1901 December by Walter Dill Scott in USA. So he is a person who started, to tell or explain or to put forward about the application of psychological principles and how these principles can be elaborated or advertised in various fields. And industrial psychology during the third and fourth, it is said to be the third and fourth popular branches of the psychology in India. So why do you called it as the third or fourth popular branches of psychology? Because it is the branch which deals with the human problems that has arisen or that arose due to various results which and people among industry faces. And next one is we will see about what is the important in industry or how the industry and organizational history has emerged. So this history, it is emerged by the father of industrial organizational psychology, who is called as Hugo Munsterberg. Hugo Munsterberg, he was born in 1863 in Germany, and he's the one who has been the pioneer or the beginners in the applied psychology. He has came up with various research and theories which are related to industrial organizational psychology as well as legal, medical, clinical, and educational, which are related in terms of business settings. Similarly, we have the other theorist authors, as we know, Elton Mayo, who is an Australian psychologist, and he was born in 1880, and he was during the period till 1949, his kind of research was into related with the human problems in industrial civilization, and he was one who put forward the Hawthorne experiments for the industrial and organizational, which deals with the research on industrial and organizational psychology, as well as he was the one who put forward the foundation for human relation movement. And he also put forward certain theories which are related to sociology and psychology perspective. And next, the author or the scientific management guru, uh, Taylor. So W.F. Taylor, his period was during 1856 to 1915, and he was the first people to study the behavior and the performance of people at work. So he was concentrating on more on the division of labor, how to increase the productivity, workers' productivity. And next person is James McKean Cattle, and he was born in 1816 in Easton. So he was a US psychology professor, and he was concentrating mainly on quantitative methods of psychology aspect in things legitimating how you can review the psychological aspect and behavior of people using the quantitative method. So he was the founder and editor of various number of scientific journals, including Psychological Review. And next aspect is the three elements of organizational psychology. So the first and more concern of three elements, which are said to be worker satisfaction, motivation, and commitment. And next one is about why or what is the scope of industrial psychology. So industrial psychology, the main scope is it has a broad field because it deals with the different approaches because it deals with the study of both the mental process as well as the human behavior. So it concentrates on how do you select during the personal selection of you know employee. It concentrates on the personal development of a human behavior. It concentrates on how a human engineering works. This study concentrates on the productivity as well as the management, and also certain, this also prevails with certain scope towards how you can prevent people from certain accidents, and what are the safety measures, and how the labor and worker management or labor management relationships can be maintained. So all these things are considered as the scope of industrial psychology. And next one is Now, what do you mean by industrial psychology? By definition, industrial psychology is also known as IO psychology or industrial psychology. So, this is a study that deals with the human behavior in workplace. And to analyze this, various psychological theories and principles being applied in terms with organizations as well as individuals in the workplace. Similarly, what do you mean by organizational psychology? So organizational psychology is where the area of psychology that concentrates only on human behavior, that is the interaction of human emotions, the feelings, which the humans handles in a workplace or in a work situation. Now, is there is a difference, or is industrial psychology and organizational psychology means the same? They have certain mostly they have the concepts are related. The thing which varies is industrial psychology, they deals with measuring the performance and productivity of the worker efficiency, that is based purely on data analytics approach, whereas organizational psychology, this is concerned mostly with the humanistic approach, which means like they deal mostly with social and emotional motivational aspects of behavior of humans in the organization. So next one is, what are the two sides of industrial and non-organizational psychology? So IO, that you called as IO psychology. So IO psychology is also known as occupational psychology, as I told you, and is also known as the personal psychology, because it handles both with the social emotional feeling aspects of the people, as well as it measures the workplace behavior in terms of using a data analytic approach by to analyze the effectiveness of people in a workplace. And next one is the definition. So the definition of industrial psychology, this looks at the behavior of how an person or an individual works, or the behavior that occurs in a workplace, within a workplace, and how the people work is might be studied as workers' personality, and how you can study the personality and the performance of an individual in a workplace. How does an their interaction that happens between individual within the business and organization. So how does it, behavior of an individual that happens in the workplace among the customer, among the clients. So this is what the basic definition of your industrial psychology. Next one is the role of psychologists in industry. So what would be the role of psychologists in an industry with in connection with your industrial psychology subject? So say for example, every industry that you have a psychologist, they will be accompanying with the HR department. So each HR department, they get the help from the industrial psychologist, whereby they help you in observing the employee behavior at work, and how do you assess the organizational workflow and practices, and whether there is any opportunity that can be identified for the improvement, better improvement. Say for example, in recruitment, employee training and development. If in case of recruitment, they will, psychologists might help you in developing selection assessment, how the selection process can be done, how the, people can be analyzed. Similarly, employee training and development, this would help you in job analysis, how the job can be analyzed on basis of what skills and abilities, with respect to what, with respect of specific, job specification, and how it is determined, how the skills are evaluated, based on what the skills, and based on what the skill development programs can be conducted to them to betterize them, the employees. And next one also, employee satisfaction and work life can be betterment with the help of psychologists, those who plays a vital role with the by helping the industries in terms of making creating employee with a better environment in terms of satisfaction, motivation, health, safety, and well-being. So all these means they how do they do is the psychologists help them to evaluate the workplace happiness, workplace well-being for the employee, and how to create and improve the work environment in a better way, so that they can balance their work life also. So the work-life balance process programs can be implemented if needed by analyzing the employee's performance during the workplace. Next one, performance management. So as you know, there are various measurement and analysis and evaluation being done for performance in performance management. So this helps psychologists to identify the skill gaps and to provide the feedback and recommendation for decision making. And if there is any compensation is needed or promotion is needed, this would help the psychologist to refer to the management. And next one is organization development and management. Organizational development and management, this is where the industry psychologists are more concerned because they need to balance the people in the organization whom they are working with the goals which the organization has to fetch. So this helps to balance both the corporate culture and sexual changes that is happening within the organization. So this is what about the basic of the industry psychology, and we will see in next session. Thank you.